God,
What's
Yeah.
I'll
you
tell you what.
almost had it.
Good after evening, noon. Welcome to the Ham Radio Kids table. We are not your grandpa's ham radio. We're going to rent you the seat, but you'll only need the edge.
That's not what I was upset about. I had that. I had it
No, you
down.
didn't. Stop
I
lying.
good happy good happy after evening morning noon.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with
Sure.
that.
You
Was
still
that
don't have cue cards set up.
is that not it? Did I was on
Good
was,
Cue
after
cue
evening, noon.
cards
oh gosh darn
after
it.
evening noon. Cue cards. Cue
Ah,
cards.
Come on, Tim. Chop chop.
no, I was actually upset because of that not pulling out of the intro and getting back into the live before that. But good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. And well, hopefully everybody survived field day. I know. Well, I was gonna say I did, but I didn't. I never got an opportunity to actually make a single contact the entire weekend.
Oh,
Which,
you too. You too. Okay.
yeah. So, uh, but hey, Vince, how was your field day? I saw you were on the air quite a bit.
Yeah, I was out. I got rained on, and then a sudden wind came up, and I collapsed my carbon fiber masts, and I subsequently had to do two separate carbon fiber mast repairs, and I have a gash in my thumb to prove it. So don't
No.
screw with carbon fiber masts. Um, yeah, that was fun. And then
What?
Sunday morning, I set up at a different park, and I was met with by a conservation officer very early in the morning, who took a look at all my wire antennas strung up and went, "Hi, how are you doing? What are you all doing?" And I said, "Hi, I'm doing great. I'm playing ham radio, and no, I'm not tracking your bears because that's illegal in these parts." And she says, "Oh, well, I'm tracking bears right now." And she starts showing me. She says, "Well, yeah, like I've got this omnidirectional on the roof. I think that's what you call it. And I got this thing here called a Yagi that's seen better days." And she was totally all about it. It was
Did
great
you
fun.
ask? Did you ask what frequency they're using for
No,
giggles? Okay, I'd be
no,
curious just because
VHF.
I'm always curious about like what other people are doing. Like, so if they came up to me, I'd be like, "So, you're tracking bears? Out of curiosity, what frequency are you using?" Like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool. Probably out of the ham frequency, but yeah, that's cool." Yeah.
yeah. It was VHF by the size of the antenna. Now her Yagi was pretty neat actually. It had the elements were four rubber ducks, so it,
Quack.
it could survive a whole bunch of
Bear
getting
attacks.
beat up, bear attacks, undoubtedly. Yeah, yes, that's mine, Tim.
Cool.
Yeah, and I got wet. I got wet. My gear did not. Can I show a funny video clip? It might take me half a minute to get to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, while
here.
we're doing that, um, Jeff, how was your field day?
It was wonderful. I actually didn't do anything for field day. Closest I got to it was I did a pod activation, and while I was out, I was tuning around 20 meters once I got to there, and I heard two people calling CQ field day. This was about 4 p.m. Eastern time. So it was winding down. I know most of the clubs around here, they're usually done by noon. They turn their radios off around noon on Sunday. So I don't know where those other stations were, but if they're still doing it, that's good for them. So I know it goes field day goes like till what, midnight or 0 UTC.
Yeah.
So if
Who?
they're still doing it, that's good for them.
Dane, it sounds like you're set up in a truck stop bathroom there, buddy.
Uh,
I know. No, we got some kids around here that have like the little. You guys remember like the little pocket rockets, like little gas powered, like
Yeah.
rocket looking bike. He just came blowing past my house.
I was about to ask who had the ancient Mayan whistle in the background because
Oh,
that's all I
man.
heard.
The death whistle,
Yeah.
dude. I want one.
I think I'd go out there and yell at him and tell him to get off your lawn and tell him to get off your live stream. There you
No,
go.
dude. I want to go over there and I want to ride it.
You want to go ride with him, huh?
Yeah.
Just knock the kid off. Like, let me have turn. Get out of here.
And the funny
That's
thing
right.
is, like, I've met that kid before, and the kid's like 6'6", and he's on this little itty bitty thing that it's just it's just so funny because his knees are up in his throat while he's trying to ride this thing down the road. It's quite funny to watch.
Right on. Well, hey, I've got this little video here. So
Yeah.
share screen, window, and so what y'all got to understand is here I am. I've got, the world's cheapest. So the audio is not going to come across here. The world's cheapest beach umbrella from the dollar store, and it's raining like a sumbitch. And I've had to lower it so much that my head is touching the underside of it. The rain is hitting the lower part of my back. It's getting wet, and the bugs are coming out, which is why I've got my permethrin shirt on. But I had to scoop all of my gear and put it up inside and underneath this
Oh man.
initially I just put it out to keep the sun off of me.
Hey Vince.
It's raining. Yeah.
Hey Vince, that little silver box in front of your radio.
The little silver box in front of the radio. The white one here.
Yeah, that white one. What's
That's
that?
a key. That's a keyer.
Oh, because
Nice.
do you have another keyer like to the
I do.
right of that?
I have a
Right
keyer
there.
here. This is my other battery operated keyer, but this silver block
Yeah.
is my jeweler's block from
Yeah, 'cause
Amazon.
that's what I thought. The key, there's the black key on there, right?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know what that white thing in front of the radio was. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, the umbrella was not the way to go. I would have gotten like one of those tents with the mesh sides.
Oh yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
a few people
Yeah.
field day videos that had those. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Were you
Vince,
rocking a
maybe-
KX3 there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, KX3 and a Pico paddle on Saturday, and my KX3 and a modern Morse key on Sunday. On Saturday, I tried setting up. One antenna, and I landed up switching it out pretty quickly. Oh, I tried setting up my Chameleon F loop on the picnic table, but as I learned, I was too close to it. I was interacting with it, and so I landed up setting up my Pac-10 linked 4020 dipole. And two carbon fiber masts to flat top it. I did the same thing on Sunday after I'd repaired the masts.
So what you need to do is use the umbrella to keep yourself dry, but get one of those pup tins like what Simon Hamjazz has for all the equipment. Then you don't have to worry about it getting wet at all.
Yep, I have a beach pop-up with me, but you know how fun pop-ups are when you're just one person. So what I was trying to do was just, and the weather was good when I started, and within about 20 minutes, the clouds kind of moved in. I'm like, oh, that's nice. The clouds are moving in. It won't be as sunny. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell are that noise? Tick, 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 tick. Anyway, that was my field day. It was great.
I know the pop-up storms. I got my antenna set up, got the radio gear set up, got an audio on, and then all of a sudden, kaboom! And then the clouds rolled in.
Yeah.
So I tried, and I started on with QRP. My intent was just to run QRP for the weekend, and that didn't work out. Which is leading to some frustration. Not so much with QRP, but with how field day is
Gamified.
Not quite.
in most contests. I would agree gamifying is a good thing. I don't know if field day is the best activity for it, based on what it's designed for.
Well, there's. I actually watched Ham Radio Crash Course's video from Field Day.
Mhm.
Pretty neat what he did, and I was kind of impressed. But yeah, they're like just trying to figure out what points they could go after, and like they got a kid, some random kid, to come over them and get on the air at their like go-to station, and they were actually camped in I'm not sure there's a photo location, but it was like a soda location, but they were like right there, and they just had to hike up like another 10 feet of elevation, which wasn't that far for them. And they activated that too. And they did a lot of different things like satellites and all this stuff. It was pretty neat. So I think it is a big gamified with all these different ways to get points, which is not bad. But
yeah, I did exclusively QRP. I was in two parks I was out for a total of about 6 hours. I visited another club's site first thing Saturday morning, and I helped put up an antenna, and I delivered a radio and picked up a radio. So I thought about taking out this new to me Flex 1500 on field day, but I realized I was probably going someplace with poor or no internet. I'd have to download software and configure it, and I just didn't want to do that on field day weekend. But yeah, it was a little bit going on. Jeff, what'd you do, man?
I just went to one of the state parks near me, northern Newark. It was a twofer: White Clay Creek State Park and White Clay Creek National Wild and Scenic River. Got on
Nice.
17. At first, I activated the park on 17 meters, and then I jumped over 20 and double the amount of contacts I made. I had a pile up or two, and I was actually using Ham 2K Polo to do the stacking. I actually was trying to do that. It actually worked kind of well for me, but I still was able to keep stuff in my head, so it was good.
So I have a good question, and this one's a good one. 'Cause
Oh,
you
good. We
mentioned
don't want bad questions.
right?
Mm.
How many of y'all use the please copy add-on?
Well, I wasn't doing field day, so I wasn't using it.
You can it still works, field day or not.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about it at that time. I was
Okay.
worried about getting set up and wondering if I was going to actually be able to activate the park would make the contact. So
There you go.
At that point, just hunt all the field day stations, and you have your 10 plus.
yeah, I could have done that. It was later, like I said, it was later in the day for here on the East Coast, and I looked at the Pod app before I left, and there was like no one. There was like 20 people on, 25 people on 20 meters, and a few and others. And I was like surprised, like, well, I want to go out, get on the air, so we'll see what happens. I'll start somewhere and then have to jump around, or maybe I'll chase or hunt field day stations. I don't know, but I never know what's going to happen when I go out.
We heard that go back the other way, Dane.
Yeah, Dan. Whenever that pocket bite goes by, we think we're hearing audio.
Dude, I know how funny this looks.
Dude,
Dude,
No, Vin, seriously, it reminds
sounds
me of the
like-
Mayan death whistle every time. The first time and now, just Mayan death whistle.
It- it sounds like when a semi drives over those rumble strips on the
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
interstate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear that. Yeah.
Well, we all heard it, Frank.
I tried pausing it as quick as I can, but it is just so funny to watch this kid because he's so tall on this little itty bitty bike.
Well,
That's
at least
great.
turn your camera around next time so we can see it.
Right.
If they come back, I promise I will turn around so everybody can see this nonsense.
Yeah, I think you should.
Just pan with him as he goes by.
That's right.
Well,
That or
so
just grab your camera and chase him down the street.
Hey, you kids!
That's right.
Oh man.
So, Dane, I can't remember. Did you say what you did for field day?
No, I didn't do very much. So I operated one Delta out of the house.
Yeah.
Was gonna do one Echo, but I didn't feel like dragging the battery out and getting it all hooked up. So I only made, I don't know, 5-6 contacts, and then I was kind of like, I'm just gonna go POTA on Monday anyway, so I'm just gonna go do that.
Yeah. It's kind of how I felt. I was just,
Well,
not
I'm
really.
not into the contesting aspect that has become. That's my own 2 cents on that. I'm not into that. When it comes down to the whole contesting thing, I understand running for your DXCC or doing something of that sort. Like I did that. I did a digital DXCC, and then I also have my multi DXCC. But like this is meant to, as far as what I've always understood, that it's supposed to be a emergency setup, and it seems like they're kind of gamifying that. So I don't know. It's still fun. I can't say it's not fun. It definitely is. That probably is a hot take, and probably going to get a whole bunch of flack for it, but I just don't care.
I tell you, I'm not so upset at assigning points for activities. What I am upset is the poor operating behaviors
Yeah.
of a lot of people on the air because of those points. And that's I think what had me frustrated more than anything else. And so I just turned off the radio. I went back later that night. I was,
get
you
you.
know, on Sunday night after the not a contest was over, and just activated POTA and was fine with that. So
Got to keep in mind that field day brings out people that have not operated necessarily for a while, or
Yep.
they're new,
Or on
And-
HF.
or on HF, or they haven't been active on HF. Yeah, that's a good point, Jeff. And so we have to have some grace in our hearts for people that
Mhm.
that don't have as polished a procedure on air. I certainly see a big difference in CW ops on field day. It's more my speed, frankly, to operate CW on field day because I can keep up with most of the people. Unlike the RAC Canada Day contest, which happened on Tuesday, or the 13 colonies, where some of those guys are flying along at 30 words a minute. I'm like, guys, slow down. There's a slow
Yeah.
world out here. But anyway.
So, you want to talk about field day and whatnot? I did nothing for field day.
oh, well, we didn't ask you, Frank. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean,
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say, Frank. I'm sorry. We forgot to ask you.
that's totally okay, Tim. Pull up what I just brought up, though.
Yeah.
This is the average-looking field day around here. For those that might be new hams in the chat or potential hams, would this look interesting to you? Yes or no? Because as a ham of 23 years, I'm going, no, this does not. No, this doesn't work for me. And it just was absolutely ridiculous. That was just one of like 5 field day clubs that I saw that I am nearby. That no, as far as my
The heck was that, Dane?
Indianapolis 500.
That's
right.
funny.
Yeah, no,
I'm
that
the one
is
that
the,
lives in Indianapolis.
The Illinois 500, yeah, also known as
Yeah.
almost any street you can. That's a straightaway.
Of course.
Those
So-
pictures, Frank.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. I remember seeing it in one of my old clubs. Were you at that field day?
No, I was not.
Okay, I was going to ask if there was a go-to station or
I
how many
do,
radios they had. And...
I do know someone that was there. They were a 5 Alpha and no go-to station.
Okay.
And it was
I'll
in the
talk-
middle of nowhere. for that county, it was in the middle of nowhere.
All right, keep going with what you're going to say. I
So-
just wanted to ask that question.
So that's one reason why I'm in full support of what Tim and the rest of us are doing here with This Ain't Your Grandpa's Ham Radio, because that for field day, I don't like it. Now, granted, I didn't get to do field day this year because there were a lot of things that happened personally around here. I couldn't even get on. I'm still having front end overload issues from something in the neighborhood, and I cannot figure out what it is. It's not the house. I've shut the house off.
Do you mean static or do you mean RF overload?
Physical or static. Oh, I don't know if it would be static or RF, Vince. That's a good question, but that might be something for afterwards.
All right.
Unless we want to touch on that, Tim. That's up to you.
Well, that was the whole point of this was helping hands, right?
Yeah,
And I was hoping that, I'm sure that some people probably experienced some things on field day that maybe they weren't quite sure about it or afraid to ask the questions, because sometimes people are not always the friendliest, or they overshare a lot. One of the two. You kind of get both extremes, right? And maybe they do a little bit of ham-splaining. So over on, if you go to the QR code up at the top of the screen, that is for the Ham Radio Kids Table Discord, if you're not already a member there. But
Vince, you're Vanna White tonight.
Yep,
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. but in there is a channel called Helping Hams, and if you've got questions, go ahead and just go ahead and type it in there, and that'll give us something that we can use to have a conversation, start a conversation with, and hopefully help you out. Try to be as detailed as possible for your question. But I mean, you don't have to write a novel or anything, but at least get the who, what, when, where, and why in there.
Details.
Details. Yeah, that does help out a lot.
And as Jody says, it's not about cooking, although I'm sure that you're going to find, at least out of the 5 of us here, somebody has run a Traeger before. So I guess we could, divest into smoking. That would not be me, but just saying.
I do barbecue just fine. Hi, Paul.
And
What's up?
the hottest ham and ham radio.
Oh,
hottest
let me-
ham and ham radio.
What's going
sorry.
on?
I don't
Good
know.
evening, gentlemen.
The
How you doing,
bougie
bud?
Canadian Paul.
I changed the name. It's back to Prep Ham. You'll notice.
You're still the bougie Canadian Paul. Come on.
All because I
Bougie,
stayed at a
bougie.
Weston. Come on.
I stayed at the La Quinta. Man,
Yeah, I was finishing
how was
some dinner.
your,
Sorry, I'm late.
how was your field day?
I had a great time. Frank of Tank Radio and I were up at Cooper Lake State Park, kind of northeastern Texas. Cabin, air conditioning, shower, kitchen. It's exactly the kind of field day I want.
Nice.
Nice.
You were roughing it, huh?
Yep. I honestly prefer winter field day over field day because I prefer colder weather.
Yeah. So just you and Frank, or did any of the other? I know Jason
Yeah.
was out on vacation.
Jason was vacation. Mike was, I think, visiting family up Wisconsin or somewhere. Robert from Digital Rancher was going to come, but he had an emergency he had to handle. So just Frank and I started with voice for about an hour and a half, but I ended up, we use N3FJP, and I love that one for field day because it has a
Me too.
colorful map. And every year, even when I did it with the club, I'm like, I want to fill the map out. We're missing Oklahoma. Somebody put an NVIS antenna up. So I did that. Frank did mostly voice. I probably did 40% digital or 40% voice. And then I spent the whole latter part of Saturday trying to find on FT8 or FT4 the states that we were missing. And so we ended up filling out all of it except 2 small spots in California, a couple fringe, California didn't count anyway, a couple fringe areas in Canada, kind of those smaller northeastern, I don't remember the names of them. And then we missed Eastern Mass, Western Mass, and North New York. So, but when you look at the map, it's pretty much all full color. And so we were excited about that. I think I ended up with about 102 contacts, I think.
Not bad. I do like, for a Windows program, it's ugly in my opinion, but I do like the fact that program, whatever it's called, N3JPF pajamas, whatever.
N3FJP.
N3FJP pajamas, whatever. It has that map, and it has that table where it marks off all the sections that you get. I think that's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at N1MM, they added a map to it, but it's black and white and just looks horrible.
Gotta have color, make it all spiced up and everything. Come
Yeah,
on.
All right.
Gotta have all the pretty
right.
colors.
So we do have a first question.
I see that. And
At what point do you attempt your first CW contact? And
yeah.
here's my standard answer for this. You attempt it before you think you are ready.
Yep.
Because you're going to find, I don't think anybody would tell me I'm wrong here, that most hams are generally quite polite people and quite welcoming. And we all want you to be successful because we got more people to talk to that way. It's very selfish, right? We start to think about it. And in the CW community, even more so. And so I'm going to share, James, I'm going to share with you what the great Thomas K4SWL said with me. Go out there and start. I will hunt you down. I will work you because it would be my honor to be your first CW contact. So get out there
Very
before you start, before you think you're ready. And I posted a link earlier on in the chat. I posted a link to one of my very early videos where I thought it was like the worst contact ever.
Oh yeah.
So the best time to do your first contact, to the Traveling Hams comment, it was yesterday. The second best time is right now.
Yeah.
Just get out there and break the cherry, so to speak, and get it out of the way so that you're not as nervous the next time.
Yep.
And I'm not I'm not volunteering or volunteering anyone, but get out and talk to the guys you know that have CW not mastered, but under their belt pretty well. Vince, Adam, Ara, Thomas. There's a whole bunch of them.
Dane. By the way,
Dane.
Dane ripped out about 30 contacts on the way from between Indianapolis and Dayton on the way over to the Hamfest.
Reach out to one of them. See if you can coordinate something with them. You don't have to be absolutely perfect, CW, just as long as you can copy and receive. And I just dropped a link. It's from the Scouts, of all places, of a Morse code chart. And it is what I use, and it is how I made my first contact with Adam. I saw him over there in the chat. I saw him. He and I did my first contact ever. And then my second and third contact was with Ara and Mark Soda Plus when Ara was getting his Soda Go, and that's exactly what I used to pound out my CW with.
All right, but I do have to caveat that a little bit, because when I originally started to learn CW, I was doing the same thing that you said, Frank. Grab the chart, and then you're so slow at trying to understand like the dits and das as they're coming in that what you're doing is you're messing it up in your head, because what you need to do is you need to sit there and you need to listen to the beat.
Right.
That's why like a lot of musicians tend to pick up CW a lot quicker, because you listen to that beat. So da 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 da, and then depending on what it is, like that was a 7. It's you listen for the beat, and then you're coordinating those beats in your head to letters and numbers.
I love this comment from Mike. Most of us can barely speak. Why do we all think our CW has to be perfect?
Absolutely, Mike.
It doesn't need to be.
Absolutely.
Like to be 100% honest, my first contact was so rough. Like the gentleman that I was talking to, and it was just me hunting POTA. It was so rough. That guy was so patient with me, with like trying, and I just kept messing up, because I was getting in my own head that oh man, then I just got flustered, and I just started making dits das all over the freaking place, and he came back and just said, and all he said to me was send slower, and he just told me to tune it down and then start over, and that's what I did, and that was my first contact. Was a complete cluster of a contact, but the guy was man, I think it took 5 minutes to get out. Hey, KD9WNY, you're 5'9" in India Lima.
Hey, Tim, can you highlight my video for a second? I want to make a point here. Chris Brecker says, I need a key to learn with. All I have is a tiny key. Chris, this is no word of a lie. The key that I wrote my exam with. This is a paddle key.
From like the late 70s, early 80s.
Thanks, Tim. You don't need
That's
a key.
awesome.
You need something to make the dits and das.
You can
Is that
even
from
make
the
your own
Odyssey?
key. A piece of wood, clothespin, some hardware, and you're
Yep.
good.
Well, even those like super cheap ones, they're not awesome by any stretch of the imagination. Those super cheap ones that are on Amazon.
Pooty key?
Yeah, the POTA key, like they have the single key and they also have the iambic key style
yeah,
of them.
paddle, yeah.
Like I'm a paddle guy. I'm not a big fan of straight keys. Like, can I use one? Can I use it sufficiently, I guess is the best way to put it. Yes, but I am a bigger fan of paddle keys. But like for your first key, just to see if you like it. You know what I mean? Because you never know. It might seem interesting to you now. It might not. You might not really dig it when you get it. Like I didn't know if I was going to. So the first key I bought was a straight key from the POTA key thing. I think it was what, $15 or something like that.
No, they're a little bit more. They're like 30, 35, I think.
Or have they gone up? They must
Yeah,
have
they've
gone
gone up. Yeah.
So, but like even that, like you're not spending a ton of money to find out if you end up liking it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
I've
got
had
the
this
same
for
thing in black.
20 some odd years now, and I've used it 3 times.
Well, the MFJ version of the Bencher. That's
Yep.
great. Hey, folks, if you've got a question, by the way, oops, I'm Vanna. Boy, this is easier than it looks. Yeah, let's just go with that. Please scan the code, and it'll take you to the Discord. You can post your question there, and we'll keep talking about stuff.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've
That
heard,
works.
not knowing Morse code, right? But the one thing I keep hearing from a lot of people is use a POTA activation or a SOTA activation as you start out.
For sure.
Yes.
It's a very prescribed, defined exchange, and people will work with you because they want the contacts, right? So if you're
Absolutely.
doing it from home, you don't have to be out in the park to do it. You can find somebody to make a contact with, and just do it. So, like it was mentioned, the best time to make that contact was yesterday. The second best time is right now. So,
So
Yeah,
your
that's a good
homework
thing.
for tonight is to jump on the radio as soon as we're done, and make a contact and report back next.
And
so,
Yeah.
so Rob,
Great comment from Rob. Yeah.
he was locked out yesterday. He knocked 2 times on the window, no answer. He went to CW, called CQ, and the wife was right there, doesn't even know code. Yeah.
There you go. But if you don't mind me adding to what Tim said, no, you don't have to be in a park. You also don't have to tell someone you're in a park, because once you make
Exactly.
your contacts, even if you are in a park, you don't have to tell anybody that you are. Even if you just straight hunt everyone, if you made those 10 contacts and once you upload that to the POTA website, it's gonna connect your guys' 2 logs, and you're gonna get the points for the park to park anyway.
Unless you put in the wrong time.
Well, you
I've been-
can still use logging software to do so, but
Well, yes, but even if you use logging software, I've noticed that a few of my hunters and other activators have been putting in the wrong times, and they're asking me to confirm, or I'm trying to confirm stuff, and it's like you have 5 hours ahead of the actual time we actually made the contact.
because the cool part about the Polo app, I use, a lot of us use, I don't know, you guys can't
I use it
very well, but right there, that's all the spots and everything of everybody that's
hang on a
activating
second.
right now.
Hold on.
Yes.
All right, do
and
that
I'm,
again there.
Oh, let's see.
and I am
Well,
sure
Yep.
come on.
All right.
There it
the
goes.
issues I see.
But
Give us your
Tim,
credit
all,
card number
all
too.
the spots.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Here.
I am sure the
You're
issues I
fixed.
just mentioned are based upon
No,
the other stations not using a logging software, probably using paper or manually typing in the time. So,
well,
but-
You know what? And that is a question, right? So we log in Zulu time or GMT time, and
Yep.
it's very possible when they wrote it down, they were just writing their local.
I am sure about
that-
that, and it's
that's
just
what I was gonna
something
say.
that Dane was saying. As long as you put it in your log and you upload it, it'll match. And also, only if the other station puts in the right time.
see, I've never had an issue, so that's why I was saying that. And the cool part about using
I have.
everybody has different situations, but the Polo app, literally, with these people that
Oh,
are
yeah.
spotted here, you literally click on them, and it automatically puts it into your log and everything that you need to do, and then you hit go. It's
Polo.
I love Polo.
Yes.
So, to a follow-up question from James is, what is the easiest way to hook up a key or keyer? And I think the big thing is it's really going to depend on the radio.
Yep.
Most modern radios now use the 3.5 inch,
3 1/4 inch.
3.5 millimeter.
3 1/4 inch jack.
Little late there, Dane. Little late.
I tried. The mouse was on the other side of the screen.
3.5
that guy right
millimeter.
there. And that's most modern radios. Now,
Yep.
if you've got one that's a little bit older, it might be a little bit different. But I would always recommend to consult your manual because that would have the best set of directions on what to
It
connect.
could have a 1/4 inch.
That is true. Some of the older ones have 1/4 inch.
You'd rather holding one
I
up.
And-
carry one of these adapters in my field kit. This is a TRS, or 3-conductor 3.5 millimeter to 1/4 inch connector, and so that lets me plug in a key with a small jack to or small plug to a radio with a big jack.
And
Yep,
Tim,
you
if
might-
you'll embiggen me for a second, most CW
I'm
key
afraid
wiring,
to, Frank.
most CW key wiring is that simple.
It's
3
yeah,
points.
yeah.
But Vince, if
Easy
you don't
as
mind
that.
elaborating on TRS, some people
Tip.
might not know what that is.
Tip, ring, and shield.
Sleeve.
Or sleeve.
Sleeve.
Yep, there we go.
Tip,
Yeah, come on, Vince. You're an audio guy. Sleeve.
the ring, and the sleeve.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
if it's TRRS,
RRS.
it's tip, ring, sleeve.
Yeah,
Ring
yes,
tip,
yes,
ring
Jamie.
1, ring
And then you
2.
have TS.
Yep.
Yeah, and you guys may call it shield. Sleeve. But shield implies there's a ground there, and sleeve might be floating. So in the world of CW keys, there has to be a complete circuit, hence ground.
Don't they use sleeve in colder areas?
Well, they might use
Keeps them warmer.
padded sleeves in colder areas, like the northern parts of Quebec and stuff. Yeah, indeed.
And James, yes, the ICOM. If it's the 7300, it's quarter.
Quarter
Three-
inch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep
3.5
going.
millimeter stereo.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how Yaesu has standardized on that 3.5 millimeter, and ICOM still uses the 6 millimeter quarter inch jack.
No, mine, both my Yaesus are, except for like when you get into their mobile stuff, that's where it's all the
tip, Mike.
3.5,
Just the tip.
Oh, okay.
and then all the higher end, like my
Just the tip.
Yep.
my 101 that I have at home.
Okay.
That's all quarter inch.
I stand
Okay,
corrected.
so-
All right.
so the newer stuff, Dane, my 710, it's a standard 1/8-inch jack. It's a standard headphone jack, not a quarter inch.
Mm.
So oh wow, so it's a 3.5.
Yeah.
Cool. I
yeah.
did not.
Yeah,
know
it,
that.
it depends on
Because-
the radio and the jack on the key or what they have connected, but
Because my DX10 was
Yeah.
also a quarter inch. That's odd. Maybe it's just like their mobile-esque radios. I don't. God, well,
Yeah,
Well,
Yaesu makes all kinds of weird decisions on what they do.
I just had to double check, Dane, because I have this adapter from Monster Cables.
Yeah.
That's from the key. That's your quarter inch. And this is the
Oh,
Did
come on,
you
Frank.
say from Monster Cables, Frank?
yes from
Is
Monster
there
Cables.
is there any truth to the fact that the electrons arrive at the far end before they're sent at the near end because they're Monster brand?
Hey,
I don't know
Frank?
about that one.
or what you just described there is called quantum entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I sat the whole conference on that, and I'm excited about the future. So there you go.
Right on.
Hands on a 710. The last time I got to futz around with one was we did an outing just with a couple guys out of my old club that I used to be a part of, and he brought one, and it was a nice radio, especially for the price point. Nice radio.
Jody, I know. Standard and 1/8-inch, I know.
Well, so if y'all have any other questions, I'm doing the Vanna thing. Please, scan. Damn, that's harder than it looks. Scan the the QR code at the top there, and it'll take you to the Discord.
Wait. There we go.
Yeah,
Gotta go the opposite way.
yeah, you got to go the opposite way. That's right.
See, for me, looking at the screen, it's the right way for me, but the wrong way on everything else. So,
Okay.
I was the right way, and then Tim flipped me around, and now I go this way, and it's that way, and I go this way, and it's that way, and
right.
Like, that's my right, and that's my left. So
Tim just likes flipping everybody around.
It's just difficult, So it's
well,
difficult.
they have
I
with
can-
me because remember what happened last time? Everybody's like,
Oh.
"Oh my God, are you in the driver's seat?"
Yes.
I can
Uh,
post a CW question.
All right.
So I joined Long Island CW Club a year ago. Haven't attended a single class, but I will. I joined them because it's more flexible than CW Academy, right? Because of my
It
schedule.
is for sure.
So let me ask you this. So I have the Vibraplex, I don't know which one, the one similar to what Frank just showed. And I'm hearing from pretty much everyone that they, and on the, I think on the website, that they suggest a straight key. And I'm just wondering why that is.
Go ahead, Dane.
Um,
Go ahead. Good.
oh, no, well, actually, I've talked to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
And their statement is because you will become one with the key. You will become more intimately involved with the Morse code by having to manually manipulate it every dit, every da versus using the electronic keyer.
I was just assuming their stance was similar to what you're saying. I just assumed it was that, and
Yep.
because you're manually doing every dit and dot, you're learning it quicker, maybe, or easier, or I don't know.
Learning how to form the dits and DAWs
Yeah.
and the sound and the cadence is key for understandability.
Mm-hmm.
I took CW Academy and I started with a paddle key, and the when I was gifted a straight key, bequeathed a straight key actually, I found it reasonably straightforward to use it, but my arm wasn't ready to perform the mechanical things here. Adam shares my opinion that a paddle and a keyer teaches you better timing, and that's so I'd been paddle keying for a couple of years when that straight key came into my life, and it was relatively easy for me to try to replicate what I had already learned. So that's my take on it.
I didn't understand K6ARK's comment. So he's disagreeing with the straight key
Yes,
because the paddle,
the paddle and keyer will teach you the timing.
Oh, a keyer. All right, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the
Yeah.
keyer built into most radios.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing
Because
right
it's-
now.
Because it's mechanical, right? So the spacing is going to be consistent every time. The dits and das are going to
Yeah.
be consistent every time. So I understand his point there.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
made
indeed.
so I already finished my 13 colonies yesterday, and
Nice.
three of those were CW. Now, because I
You might
can't
have
copy
words.
everything, my crutch is the 101D's decoding, and it doesn't decode perfect, so some of them I'm missing at, but I could put in my call sign and I could put in 5NN and TU, but then I'm listening and watching the decoder of the 101D screen. So that's the way I'm doing it now. And people, of course, say, well, don't do that. And I get it. It's not a way to learn. I'm not really doing it to learn. I'm literally just doing it to make a few contacts.
And
But
some
I can recognize my call sign. I can recognize CQ. I can recognize 73. So it is helping me recognize some things, but it's not fully me making it.
Yeah, totally. A friend of mine, he'd been licensed for 50 years, and he got his Work to All Countries or something award. And I don't chase these awards. I don't know. And I looked at him and said, "Dude, I didn't know you did CW." He says, "Well, I've got a key in the drawer, but this is how I do it." Somebody
Yeah.
said I just had to recognize my own call sign,
Yep.
and that's
Yep.
legit.
Yeah.
That's legit if
Yeah.
that's what you want to do.
I heard that before. Tim mentioned that, like, if you're going to do CW, do it with like POTA, because it's an organized set of things that you say back and forth. And once you learn those, you learn your call sign, like 70 or CQ POTA, and be able to understand the other call sign. That's all you need to do. And I think that's a great idea, because you're doing like as long as you know the bare minimum of what you need to know, you don't have to have a conversation with someone.
No.
You gotta say, "Hey, it's me here. I hear you at this signal level. Thank you very much. I understand. I got your call sign down in 7.3." And then you just keep repeating that over and over again. But if you can't copy the other call sign, then it's not going to help you out. At least I think so. I think you're going to have to be able to know who's calling you, especially if it's like a park to park. But doing the parks on the air, there's only a few things that you need to learn in your head. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to have a conversation. You just need to know like a few phrases, your call sign, and be able to understand the others. So
I think that's why I feel comfortable doing it with contests that are just your basic replies, right? Your state. So for me, I just have to basically for CW, I need to know my call sign, 5NN and TX, pretty much.
yeah, contests will do the same thing. You just it's a set of set of phrases that you just have to repeat over and over again.
Yeah.
And as long as you can understand the other station, you're good.
You don't need the park numbers. You don't need any of that extra
And
call sign. And yeah,
Brocam is right. He is right when he said that they just recommend it. I know a lot of people don't use straight key with LICW. So
Good point. Yeah, for sure. That's great.
And I agree with Adam too. Like I tried doing the straight key thing, and once I got my hands on like one of my first, hold on, let's see, focus.
One of your
Focus.
first paddle keys.
Oh, come on. There we go.
There it is.
On
It's
one
in.
of my first
cool.
paddle keys. It's a really super lightweight one. This thing's awesome. That I was very lucky because these are super difficult to get from the gentleman. I guess he only makes a couple per year, and then if you're not on top of it when he says that he has them, they're pretty much gone.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic.
What was the brand of that one?
No, sir.
This is-
N0 SA.
Yeah, N0 SA keys.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
there's
I
some
said,
nice keys out there. I just can't see spending the money. Like those modern Morse keys, I really like the way they look. I
Super
like
nice.
some of the colors. But it was like $250, $300, if I think. And
mhm.
I don't have a problem spending that much money, but I can't see spending that much money if I can't use it.
mhm.
Oh.
So I would think I'd
Well-
need to learn the code first. I'd rather
If-
spend $30, blow 30, $40 on a cheaper key to at least learn everything. But I've also said in my head, I'll spend the $300 and I'll learn. I better damn learn how to do CW if I bought that key.
See, that's
If-
the thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, if you spend the money on the key, then you'll feel obligated to learn it.
Bingo.
Exactly. That's one way
what
I
I did
thought.
with my Big Alley.
Is that why I haven't done a class at Long Island Club? I bought the key for only $50 from a guy
Exactly.
used.
You're
No.
getting $50 performance out of it.
You know
I
what?
need-
These are nice though.
No,
But
it's the Vibroplex. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It was all scratched up, so I sanded it down and repainted it. But
Oh, yeah. The
um,
basic
I know,
Venture
but,
BY2,
yeah, just the
BY1.
basic one.
Yeah,
like
the
it. It feels very
Vibroplex
comfortable.
and Bench are all the same company now. Since I think they
Oh,
own
okay.
each. One of them owns one. I think it's Vibroplex owns Venture now. If I'm
I'm-
Yeah,
not
that's right.
mistaken, and then someone
Yeah,
owns
that's right.
Vibroplex.
Yeah.
I don't know, but those
And
are
nobody owns
fantastic keys.
MFJ.
But what
Hey.
Tim is saying is I need to spend
No
$250 or more, and then that will cause me to go on a Long Island Club class
But
Yeah,
350.
no, it won't.
or
No, it
$350
won't.
or more. Okay.
But 350.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
let's talk.
Shitty.
This little
Let's
one was
talk about
150.
motivation for just a minute. Yeah, that little one was 100. Those are fairly inexpensive too when Larry
motivate me,
makes them.
Vince. Motivate
Listen,
me.
let's talk about motivation for just a minute. CW is like anything. You gotta wanna.
Yeah.
You gotta find your wanna. And when I interviewed Adam and Ara at Hamvention, and that video's in my channel, it's just a quick little 1 minute thing. Adam says, I wished I would have learned CW sooner because it was the cheat code to getting lots of contacts easily on low power. And when he
Yep.
discovered that, that was his wanna. And that's what I mean by wanna. You gotta wanna do it. In my
Yep.
case, I went and spent, 400 and some Canadian dollars on a Big Alley key. And I'm like, I'll be damned if it's going to sit there and gather dust. That was my wanna.
Yeah.
So
So
I agree 100%. You got to really want to do
To do-
something.
you got to want to do anything. You got to want to pick up the mic. There are hams among us that only do digital mode because they're mic shy. There are hams among us who only pick up the mic because they don't know a computer, but they'd like to know a computer. Everybody has a different wanna, right?
Yep.
So you got to figure out what your wanna is. So Paul, you got to find a wanna and then get into class.
Well, my
I think-
wanna
I
with ham
think
radio.
when you get into it a little bit and you start interacting with somebody, you're going to find out how much
Mhm.
fun it is, and your wanna is going to kick in. That's what happened to me.
I can see that. And the main reason I went to Extra as a ham radio operator was because I don't like restrictions. The other thing I don't like
Yeah.
is I don't like, because I speak Japanese and I regularly go to Japan, so I understand, I can communicate. I don't like going to countries like Spain where I cannot understand them. So it's the same thing in ham radio. When I scroll over and I hear people communicating, it frustrates me that I can't understand it. So I'm kind of using that as a catalyst to get me to that wanna, like you're talking about, perhaps, is I just hate not understanding and I hate restrictions.
One thing you could also do to help you out with CW is I know there's a few soda and pod activators that will record their activations doing CW, and they have like the little scroll at the bottom that says what they're saying. You blank that out, and like some people said, to use my videos to hear the call signs of when people call out during the pileup. I mean, do the same thing. Go ahead and listen to their CW conversation and try to copy that out and reply back to the person. I think that would be a great idea to do to get
See,
like some non-on-air practice too.
that's exactly what I was doing for a little bit there as well when I was
Jody.
first learning. I would listen to Thomas's videos and listen to the back and forth with Thomas. Well, as I was going, like as I was sitting in the bunk or in the passenger seat, I would try to copy it. Plus, there's an app that's actually really awesome that I think they did a fantastic job. It's called Morris Mana.
Morse Mania.
Morse.
Morris
Let me
Mania.
see which one I have. I have one.
Everyone,
All right,
check
good
your
big-
phone.
Oh, come on.
Here it is.
That,
Yeah, there.
that one right.
Oh, he's cutting out.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
well,
Focus.
at least it
Well,
wasn't the
locked
member
Like
trainer.
that one, I really like. Yeah, that one
you
I
blocked
really like
all the
because
Wi-Fi,
it
Stain.
doesn't. Whatever, dude. I don't care. I like that one the most because it all it does is sends what it wants you to find, and then you have the alphabet below you, and you have to pick which one that was. So you're listening the whole time.
Yep.
You're not. So you have to make sure that you understand it in your head to be able to go, oh hey, that's A. Oh hey, that's N. Oh that's D. That's U. So I just told you all the ones that I had super big difficulties with because they're literally inverse of each other.
Well, hey, that is cool. And, you know, I'll tell you what, this I think has been a great segment. Ham Nation is coming up here in about just about 5 minutes, so we need to go ahead and get it wrapped up and hand it over to them. Paul, since you're the last one, what's going on with the channel or anything?
I posted a quick
Anything
short
fun coming
today. Like Mike, I got that big mammoth mat from James at Quirky QRP, so I just did a quick short on it. And it is massive, and it's got my logo. So very cool, James. Thank you.
It's the BAM, the big ass mat.
It's the BAM. I'm gonna probably, if I'm not working, I'm probably gonna do a Saturday morning QSO with me stream about 8 o'clock to whoever wants to QSO me. We find whatever frequency, mode, method works to QSO to make the QSO. And ultimately, if we can't, it's a WinLink email just to try to get people used to using things. And then my live streams every Sunday Central Time, 8:30 p.m.
Nice.
Awesome.
So, Paul, what I'm hearing is when you do the QSOs, you want all the CW QSOs, right?
That's
Oh,
right.
no CW QSOs yet. JS8
I
call.
thought I heard any mode. Did you guys not?
Well,
hear that? Any
I
mode?
could
Yeah, I
try
did.
it. I could try it, but you know,
Yep.
you got to be really slow.
That's okay.
That's perfectly fine.
So, Mike said check out Kyle's stream tomorrow night. We're setting up his SodaMate account and doing his upcoming road trip. So that'll be cool too. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you check out Kyle AA0Z and his stream tomorrow night. Dane, what you got coming up?
So I released a video earlier today about failing. The one that I was talking to you guys that I was going to do. Released that video today. I got another video coming up that's getting released next Tuesday, and then I'm shooting a video on that. Been lacking on this one. I got a antenna from. Who was it? You got one too. So
Alpha antenna.
I got one from Alpha, and then I also got one from Eric. That I would like to.
Yeah. We'll talk about that tomorrow. That's
We'll
tomorrow
talk-
night.
It's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
I gotta get the video up for Alpha. That one, I'm what I'm trying to do with that one is I want to get it on a analyzer so I can show
Yeah.
so people can actually see what it can do. You know what I mean? And where it's like what you need to do with it, and if you need a tuner, if you don't need a tuner. So just little techie stuff.
Awesome. How about you, Vince? What do you got going on this?
Well,
upcoming-
I have footage and stills from a field day that I have to edit into a video. I posted a link to my playlist, and these are videos that are going to run I'm releasing them every 2 days through the summer. And I recorded all of these at Hamvention. They are under 1 minute each. So if you tell me you don't have time to watch, well, I'll just know you're not interested, and that's okay. That's a viable position. But you're going to find some really interesting things that people, as they've learned more about ham radio over the years, would have told themselves when they were learning about ham radio. So I think a lot of the insights are just fascinating to me. So that's what's going on.
Anybody catch you off guard?
A couple of people did. Adam and Ara caught me off guard when they said it's a cheat code. There were a couple of common themes, but that one was definitely an outlier. And to use that phrase, cheat code,
Well,
and I found that especially interesting.
Vince, that was supposed to be a teaser, not for you to give a spoiler.
No, that's okay. That one has released already.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's all
everybody
good.
go check it out. Make sure you check out those videos. I filmed one. Whether Vince puts it up or not, it's a whole different
Yeah,
story.
it's going up. It's up.
All right.
They're all posted right now. The whole playlist is up.
Awesome. Cool. Jeff, how about you? What you got going on?
I got one of those big ass mats too. I'm gonna do a video about it. I'm sure there's been a few videos already by people, but I just got to show it off and say, hey, yeah, you get one of these. Here's a discount code, whatever. This weekend, hoping I get everything done before this weekend, I am going to activate Kilo 2 Echo, Delaware for the 13 colonies. So
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I have no clue what the weather is going to be like. I have no clue what my timing is going to be this weekend, but I'm working right now, and my emails getting spammed by everyone talking about what frequencies are on and everything. The group of people doing Delaware. So they are busy. They are getting hammered with calls, and they're all having a good time doing it. So I've always wanted to do this, and I said, well, let's get it done and over with, and hopefully I could get out this weekend and do Kilo 2 Echo and have a good time doing it. Maybe I'll even record some of it just for giggles.
Is that
and
Saturday, Jeff?
I'll be out probably Saturday or Sunday, depending on my schedule. What other stuff I have to get done.
Awesome. All right, real quick, Frank, 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, well, I'll just need
15.
about 10. This thing is going to crush me. I swear. It's
Okay.
going to outright
right.
crush me.
Got to
Video's
go.
coming out
Bye, Frank.
next week.
All right. Hey, real quick, tomorrow night, 1 year anniversary of the Thursday night playlist. Make sure you check social media to find out when that's coming on. I know I've got a video coming out, and I think Mike into MAK has done something special. We are going to get out of here, everybody. Thank you very much.
Go watch Ham Nation.
Yeah, go
Tell
check
them
out
the kids'
Ham
table
Nation.
send show.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. 73.
There's three, everybody.
73 is everybody.
Later.
Later. Dun, dun.